Give me a second. So it did not make. We're going to go without for now. Okay. Yeah, that's going to have to be it. All right. You need a second device. You will need note-taking materials for this morning's live. Go to the Turnaround Doctor website and select the 74 Principles of Real Leadership. You can have note-taking materials, physical or virtual, whatever you believe will help you learn best. Additionally, once you're at the website, you're going to scroll down to the Be Likeable section, which is located under Natural. As we are coming around third, it's number 6. All right, on your own, let's go ahead and inhale and exhale 3 times. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today, we will be talking about Be Likeable. And I forgot. There we go. Had to turn my selfie light on. Okay. We are discussing Be Likeable, but before we get into that, my normal review for the morning, we get here, have my new brain t-shirt on. We have Neurogenesis, which is the creation of new neurons in your amazing brain. From there, you have a process called Neuroplasticity, when that's the brain's ability to wire itself to new behaviors so that you can just have an amazing existence. You take those two, you combine it with the theory of personal accountability, as well as the 74 Principles of Real Leadership, and you land at Neuropability. That's your brain's ability to wire itself to create unlimited neural pathways for you to hold yourself personally accountable so you can access your best day in and day out. All of this magic happens in the frontal lobe of the brain, particularly the executive function. And that's also commonly referred to as the CEO of the brain. So without further ado, let's use your brain today. Now, what I have been doing for a very long time is, well, not a long time, but since February, is I have been reviewing. I did an overview of the 74 Principles of Real Leadership, and now I've been taking them one by one so that you can understand them individually. So much so to the point that I have been defining every word in them and then bringing it into a whole complete definition so that you can completely understand it in all of its totality, understand why it's difficult to use it, and then I give you tips or strategies that you can implement so that you can start to create that neural pathway, that neuropability. One moment. I do believe that I have an infiltrator this morning. Okay. So what we have here is it's a vibe, and this person has been extremely vulgar and rude this morning, which I find is interesting because it's the Sabbath for some people. And so this person has decided that this comment would be necessary. So I'm going to read it and then I'm going to report it because YouTube has hidden it. So here are the things that I'm talking about from unaccountable people and how I'm just minding my own business on this Sunday morning with my brain and my brain t-shirt. And this person has chose ignorance. And so this person says, my question is, do you keep your bleat shaved or does it have a little hair on it? Now, what about any of this morning said, let me type that for fodder, for whatever it is. They have just decided, let me disrupt her teaching people how to use this brain, teaching people how to do this, and we'll troll through. And they have deemed that this is something that is appropriate, or I should be offended or appalled or attempting to hijack my amygdala this morning, when my objective is to just teach you how to use your brain so that you don't wake up with hijacked amygdalas looking for a dopamine boost and a reaction. So this person, it's a vibe, decided that they were going to attempt to hijack my amygdala with fight, flight, freeze, or peace. but they have failed miserably because my tone, my pentameter, my heart rate is not up, my pupils are not dilated. None of this had an impact that it wanted to. And this person has probably moved on and done something else this morning. But I want this to be recorded that losers need a host. Losers need a host. They need somebody to latch on in order for any of their unaccountable antics to work. I can go on live by myself. I've been on lives by myself, talking to myself, but it's been recorded so that that information is out there for future use. But this ignoramus has decided that this is a good idea. And actually, this morning, woe be unto the trolls, because it's not. I'm actually being very calm because right before I pressed play, I was not calm because of some ignorant antics from my immediate family. Once again, losers needing a host. So this is not the morning for that. It is not the morning for that. And the one thing about me is you want me kind of elevated, you want me kind of cursing. Because when I get real calm, that's a problem for everybody. That means I'm very focused and locked in, and that's not advantageous for anyone. So for anyone else that decides that today is the day that you will do something imbecilic, I would caution you not to do that this morning. I would say this isn't that day. Okay? It actually isn't that day. So let me go ahead and report this person. So so they can get their whole, okay, so they can get their whole Gmail and everything taken away from them. Now I will go back to what I was stating, and it is be likable today. So clearly that person wasn't trying to be likable. They were the actual opposite of that. So be likable. The definition of be is this: to exist or to occur. To exist or to occur. Likeable is pleasant, friendly, and easy to enjoy. Clearly, that person was not attempting to be likable. So, pleasant, friendly, and easy to enjoy. A likable person is one that tends to be well received, appreciated, or emotional appealing to others. A likable person is one that tends to be well received, appreciated, or emotionally appealing to others. Clearly, the person that was just here with their vulgarity, good morning, Lola, was not here to be likable. That was not something that was well received. I did not appreciate it, nor was it emotionally appealing to the group. And it often describes someone who is kind, agreeable, or charming in a way that makes people want to spend time with them or support them. It often describes someone who is kind, agreeable, or charming in a way that makes people want to spend time with them or support them. That person's comments did not make me want to spend time. It did not make me want to support them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So clearly, thank you, higher power, God, in the universe. That was an example of someone who was not interested in being likable. They were the opposite of that. So, what does it mean to be likable? To be likable means this: it is to behave or present yourself in a way that makes people naturally want to be around you, trust you, or have positive feelings towards you. It is to behave or present yourself in a way that makes people naturally want to be around you, trust you, or have positive feelings towards you. That's what it means to be likable. And we're going to get into people pleasing because we know I'm not for that shit. I'm not about to be pleasing nobody. That's not my responsibility. So, what questions do you have or comments before we move on to the 5 common traits of likable people? Clear as a bell, clear as mud, anything, nothing, let me know. There we go. It is clear. Okay. The common traits of likable people, and there are 5. Warmth and kindness. Warmth and kindness. Number 2 is good listening skills. And we know listen is one of the principles of real leadership. Then a genuine interest in others. A genuine interest in others. Positivity and a sense of humor. And then humility and openness. So the common traits of likable people are warmth and kindness, good listening skills, a genuine interest in others, positivity or sense of humor, humility and openness. And the one that sticks out for me is the positivity and a sense of humor. Because be positive is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, and have fun is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. If you have a good sense of humor, you're going to make things positive and you're going to make things fun. And then the second one I would say is good listening skills. Good listening skills is also something that you need when you're, because a lot of people talk but don't really listen. And when they hear it, but they're not listening, seeking first to understand and then to be understood. So don't confuse somebody being a nice person with somebody being a likable person. Nice people aren't necessarily likable people. Okay? Thank you for that. Good morning, Jeffrey Ray. So nice people are just nice. And let me tell you why nice people are nice, okay? Because that's not likable. Nice people are nice so you won't hold them personally accountable. You feel bad if you hold a nice person accountable. They could show up late, they could say something or do something wrong, and because they're nice, you give them the benefit of the doubt. So they're very calculated in their niceness. So you will let them do all kind of things. And you say, oh, but no, they're still nice. They're still nice. They say, I'm gonna call you right back. And they 10 years before they call you right back. They don't keep their word. They go against most of the 74 principles of real leadership. But because they're nice, they go, you're not really paying attention to them. You want the mean person to be held personally accountable. You want them to pay. But that nice person that's just like, hey, how you doing? It's not the same thing. Because one thing nice people don't do is they don't listen. They're not genuine. They don't really have a sense of humor. So they go against the likability traits. They're just nice. And so they get away with a lot. So be careful and make the distinction between a nice person and a likable person. Because a likable person is still going to hold you personally accountable. I'm likable. I really am. But if you are being unaccountable, I'm going to hold you to being personally accountable because best is best. And that's the objective of holding yourself personally accountable. A nice person isn't going to help you. A nice person isn't going to call you on your shit. A nice person isn't going to give you information for you to become your best. They're just nice. They do nice things, and that's it. Because their whole personality is they want to be viewed as a nice person, and that's it. They're not a great parent. They're not a great spouse. They're not really a great employee, but they're nice. So they just get to be a C. They get to be 70%, and nobody is really checking for them. So they get to kind of just float on by. So definitely nice people are not likable people. Now, my question to you before I give you the answer is, why is it challenging to be likable? So go ahead and put your answers in. Why is it challenging to be likable? And I'm going to put my answer in. Let me put my glasses on because I had a bunch of typos yesterday. Excuse me. Okay. Why is it challenging to be likable? Dr. Donna said because people don't like themselves. I didn't even eat any almonds this morning. It's just dry air. Unresolved personal life issues. Kevin says that. Kevin Hook, just in case Kevin Jones shows up. Let me see what this message was. Nola. Sweetie, you can't keep saying people are assholes. They keep hiding it. Okay? You got to find a different word. Do some synonyms for it. They have some for it. Okay? Retype that. I can't keep holding your answers for review. Okay. So as Nola retypes her answer, I will continue on. Number one answer is everyone has different preferences. Everyone has different preferences. So what one person finds likable, another person might not. Nola likes watching Catch, Clean, and Cooks. I read very dry, boring books. So she's like, I will watch it. Armadillo, Catch, Clean, and Cook. I'm like, and I'm going to read the Constitution. She's like, oh, never. I'm like, ugh, never. Because some people are jerks. So people have different preferences. Some people value humor, others prefer seriousness. Some people value humor, others prefer seriousness, and you can't please everyone, and trying to do so can make you seem inauthentic. I have a Dr. Donna quote, pleasing everyone pleases no one. If you're working on trying to please everyone, you're never going to please anyone at all because you're going to be too busy. And then it has you coming across as inauthentic. And nice people are inauthentic or fake. Nola says, I actually have never seen an armadillo one. That would be interesting. She never saw an armadillo one. That would be interesting. Perhaps search it. I'm sure they have one. So, yes, number one, everyone has different preferences. Number two, fear of rejection or judgment. Fear of rejection or judgment. Worrying about how others perceive you can cause anxiety or awkward behavior, which ironically makes you less likable. Worrying about what others perceive you can cause anxiety or awkward behavior, which ironically makes you less likable. And then people often pick up on insecurity or neediness. So when you're trying to please people or trying to be likable, it definitely comes across as, that seems strange. That seems weird. People on Instagram, when I used to do my Instagram lives, they're like, oh my goodness, how you keep it so real? How you keep it so, And to Kevin's point, which is unresolved personal life issues, the more authentic a person is, the more shit they already worked out. They already worked it out. There's very little insecurity because they already worked their shit out. I'm currently working on my trauma from being attacked by a German Shepherd and a Doberman Pinscher when I was a child. So Nola's client has a German Shepherd something mix. But when I see it, I just see a German Shepherd. Lovable, kind, patient dog. Yesterday, went to the client's home. She had the dog sitting on the couch because she knew I was coming in. And I was like, nope, today I'm gonna go past the dog. So she was getting ready to leave, and I said, I'm old, I got to pee. She said, come on, because we were doing patio furniture. And we let the dog out, and the dog walked circles around me, smelled me, everything. And I was like, okay, cool. I have to get past this. So because I've worked through so much other stuff, I'm now attacking these other childhood fears because these dogs didn't do anything to me. Those were two protective dogs. People needed dogs. We lived in the hood, and they were doing their dog job. It just so happened that I was just an innocent bystander at the time, but I need to get past that too. And so I say that to say, when somebody is real deal Holyfield, they've worked through all their shit. And that makes people who haven't uncomfortable. So fake people, inauthentic people don't resonate with me. You talking too much. She done, there she go telling all her business and everything. She done. But it's just, and now I know that at 52 years old, is that is the direct result of them hiding a bunch of things. They're going to die with a lie. They're going to be as sick as their secrets and everything else because real recognize real. And that's just how that goes. So you can't be fear of being rejected or judging because people are going to do that anyway. And that's what I found out. You trying to put your fronts up and everything else, and it's going to be a different group of people that are assessing this and making you feel bad for something else. If I have on a symbol clothes with Nola, I get treated one way. If I have on my normal clothes, I get treated one way, and I get treated bad by the other group of people because they're saying, oh, she thinks she a hoity-toity bitch over there. And then they're like, look at this ragamuffin peasant servant. Either way, lady asked me yesterday, I was coming from the bathroom in Lowe's, and an older European woman asked me if I worked there, and I didn't like her tone, so I said, no, I actually don't. And this isn't what Lowe's people wear. They wear this. So no, I don't have their uniform on. She thought she was doing something, and then I read her like a fucking nursery rhyme, and I was about to go ham on her, but we was in the middle of an appointment, so I went on about my business, because it would have been senior on senior crime. And do you work here? And the funny thing was that she was having a normal conversation with Nola, and I walked up. And so Nola said, wow, her energy shifted. And it did, for reasons unknown to us. The point is, you have to be yourself regardless, because I'm still Dr. Donna, whether I got on a brain t-shirt, whether I have on a suit, a symbol clothes, or anything else. You have to be who you are, because that's what makes you likable. Number 3 is pressure to fit in. I have never been one for fitting in. I come from a household of people who wanted to fit in, and I haven't. But when you have the pressure to fit in, trying too hard to be likable may lead you to suppress your real personality or values, which can feel fake to others. So as we know, your personality resides in your frontal lobe. That's where it is. So when you let peer pressure hijack your amygdala, and now you're doing fight, flight, freeze, or appease, and in this instance, it's appease, you're not going to be yourself. You are not going to be yourself, and now you're going to be trying to be something else, and that's going to come across as inauthentic and fake. And then people aren't going to like you because they're like, I don't trust her. She fake. She fake as hell. I don't know what's wrong with her, but something is up. Because remember, the gut brain is sending 400 messages a day to the head brain, and you're paying attention to that. So the pressure to fit in. That's why if you go to any high school, everybody is fake. Everybody's trying to keep their fronts up till they come up, and nobody is who they say they actually are. Might be a few, might be 2% of the high school population. And the adult population is nothing but the mirror image of high school. So you still probably have that same amount of people not being themselves. I keep it real. I keep it real. I'm like, you take all that stuff off and let's see who you actually are. When you take off all the accessories and the like Mr. Potato Head, start pulling stuff off, we're actually going to see who you are. And authenticity is a key part of genuine likability. I'm going to say that again. Authenticity is a key part of genuine likability. And we know in my book, the whole A in real is authentic. So you can't be a real leader. You can't have neuropability, and you can't get to your best if you are not authentic. That's why we like people, because, oh, I like them so much. They just keep it real. Remember, nice people are the fake ones. Number 4, a lack of self-awareness. Kevin, you alluded to this. I always keep saying that again. As we get into the back half of Pink, of Real, and then Pink, everything is about you not being who you are, you not knowing who you are, which is why you're not going to be powerful, innovative, natural, or knowledgeable, because of a lack of self-awareness. So some people may not realize how they come across. Being very critical, interrupting, or appearing distant can unintentionally make them less approachable. And so that's that. So because you are being critical, you are interrupting people, you're not listening, you are making yourself less approachable. And now people are like, yeah, I don't want to go over there, because if you can't, what happens is when you have, you're a loser, you're unaccountable. So you have a big giant ego, low confidence, and low self-esteem. You're doing a bird to paradise kind of peacock tail thing. So you can't listen to anybody else. You can't allow someone else to have space where you are, because you're so absorbed with you that makes you unlikable. And now if you're interrupting people, people can't talk to you, you're not listening, you forget people's names, you can't remember shit. One thing about Noah's clients is that it could be 2 years and we will come back and remember the exact conversation we had, talk about pets. Sometimes the pets have passed, people will be transitioning jobs, maybe a grandbaby was born, somebody was graduating, things like that, somebody got married, and we will remember all of that. And the first thing they'll say is, wow, that was 2 years ago. That was a long time ago. You still remember that? we have a couple clients. She has a couple clients that are retiring. And so I'm like, yeah, isn't it coming up? Aren't you the end of May, beginning of June? Yeah, man, you remember that? Oh, and then we start talking about, well, what are you going to do now that you retire? Well, I'm just going to sleep. I'm going to travel. I got some other stuff I'm going to be working on. So to be able to do that makes you likable instead of trying to be nice. Well, you got some nice furniture. Oh, did y'all get a new couch? It's not the same thing. And then number 5, social skills take practice. As I mentioned, from 0 to 11, I was not talking a lot. I was being abused by my older sister. So I used to just sit and suck my thumb and watch and just like, how the hell can I get out of here? And I had to learn about small talk. I had to learn how to listen. I had to learn how to speak slower and have inference and storytell and remember people's names and all of those things. I had to be able to do those things because of me being in leadership positions in the military and in Frito-Lay. I was working with people, X's, boomers, silent generations, and everything else, and then a couple millennials before I got out of there, and had to be able to interact with people from different backgrounds, different countries. When I was in officer basic and career captain's course, we had officers from other countries that were there with us. A Turkish officer, somebody from Korea, somebody from I think Saudi Arabia. I can't remember. El Khatani was his name, and so last name. So you have, and then I had 10 Katusa soldiers as the second lieutenant in Korea. So being able to have the social skills to talk to other people, which is why communicate effectively is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, because it isn't just, oh, let's speak our mother tongue, Muttersprache in German, but to be able to talk to a 4-year-old and an 85-year-old from very diverse backgrounds. That's one of the reasons which makes me likable or makes people unlikable, because it's like you have this cubicalized caste existence, conformity bias, confirmation bias, and all the isms. So only the group that looks like you, behaves like you, is the only group that you can talk to, which makes you less likable. Number 6 is past experience and trust issues. Past experiences and trust issues. So if someone has been hurt, rejected, or bullied in the past, they might struggle to open up or connect with others, making it harder to be seen as warm or friendly. If someone has been hurt, rejected, or bullied in the past, they might struggle to open up and connect with others, making it harder to be seen as warm or friendly. I come from the hood. I literally, Glendale, between 12th and 14th, Linwood, Woodrow Wilson, Young Boys Incorporated, all of that. It took me a long time to be open up, and still working on that. But now I'm working on all of the sin is you sick as your secret shit that should have been told many years ago. But overall, I had to become a person that was willing to share information and be open to different experiences. And then finally, number 7, cultural or personality differences. Cultural or personality differences. Now, the principle of real leadership that is supportive of this is embrace diversity. Embrace diversity, whether it's in your own household, in your neighborhood, your zip code, your county, your city, your state, your country, your religious preferences, your sexual preferences, whatever these are. You have to have the ability to embrace diversity. So introverts, for example, might come across as standoffish to extroverts, even though they're just being themselves. Similarly, cultural norms around likability vary widely. Whenever we go to appointment, if we see shoes at the door, we ask, do we need booties? You don't need booties downstairs, you need them upstairs. Yes, you need them throughout the house. So understanding different people's perspectives helps, or their cultural differences allows you to be likable. I believe that we have, I won't say every continent, because I think we have somebody from Australia though, but the majority of the continents, we've had people from those continents move here to Las Vegas and experience their culture, and everybody literally was like, oh my goodness, so nice, whatever. And so what happens is when people go on Tasker or read the Yelp reviews or whatever, TaskRabbit has people's profile photos, and people are looking for their culture, and then they're reading it and saying, okay, that person is part of my culture. Here's what they say. Okay, cool. Let me book them. And so we have a very diverse group of people of all everything. We've had pretty much everybody. And so that is the result of respecting. So treat people with dignity and respect is one of the 74 principles of real leadership as well. And so we have to say, why I gotta take my shoes off, and this is so stupid, and this is so, and then people will say, do you want it to be hotter or colder? I dress in layers, we suit up, and if it's cold, put on a jacket, if it's hot, we take it off. And that works because we are there to provide a service for them and then leave. and not be a disruption to their household. And so culturally, you have to understand people's culture. If you, and it's not a matter of I want everybody to like me, so I'm gonna understand it. It's no, we are human beings. We're gonna embrace diversity. We're gonna treat people with dignity and respect, and that's what's going to make us connect and understand that people are people. So I'll review them again, and then as I'm reviewing them, you can type in what resonated with you. If something you didn't know, just whatever comes up, go ahead and enter that into the chat. So why is it challenging to be likable? Number one, everyone has different preferences. Number two, fear of rejection or judgment. Number three, pressure to fit in. Number four, lack of self-awareness. Number five, social skills take practice. Number six, past experiences and trust issues. And then number seven, cultural or personality differences. Kevin, all of these make perfect sense. That's awesome. Let me see if this is too hot. And then coming up next is the 8 practical tips to become more likable. Okay, and then just a friendly reminder, if you are going to be typing a response, ... brain, thinking emoji, and then that way I will know that you are thinking and I won't proceed. If I don't see that, then I will proceed. Number 1, and these are 8 practical tips to become more likable. Number 1, show genuine interest in others. And if you haven't, oh man, I forgot to put the poll question there. Give me 1 second, John. Okay. So vote in the poll question if you haven't done so. Or do so now, because I just put it up. 8 practical tips to become more likable. Number 1, show genuine interest in others. Genuine interest. Because here's what I noticed. Here's what I noticed when we're at appointments with other independent contractors. Other independent contractors are talking so that they can have a conversation with the person to get booked again and to get a tip. And you can hear it. Hey, yeah, so what's that? Hey, that, and the tone, the feeling, the energy is totally and completely different than when you're just there to genuinely, they're not going to remember what the customer told them. They're not really interested. They're just doing small talk. So the person feels like they've had this connection. So then they will pay them their 2-hour minimum, give them a tip, and give them a review and all that, and refer them out. You can hear it. It's contractor speak is what we call it. It's the tone and everything is different. That's not genuine interest in the person, because the questions is very high level things that aren't really going to amount to anything. So in order for you to have a genuine interest in others, you ask thoughtful questions and you listen actively. So with both ears, you ask thoughtful questions and then you listen actively. You use a person's name in a conversation, and thereafter you use the person's name in a conversation, and then you reflect back on what they've said to you to show you're engaged. So the other day I mentioned that Kevin makes his he brews alcohol, and if I'm saying it wrong, it's because I don't drink, but I know that he likes wine. His family took a trip to the winery here in California, Napa Valley, had never been before. So I make it a point to remember things about people because I have a diverse background, and that matters. That's that connection there to show that you matter. You're not just somebody who's in a challenge and that's it. So tell people I'm the shit. But no, I have a connection and I understand. And the longer you are around people, the more connected you become with them because more interactions are taking place. So it has to be a genuine interest in others. And I've said this many a time. If you do not like people, don't go into anything that has to do with people. Don't go into customer service. Don't go into retail. Keep your evil ass somewhere else. Stay away. Don't do it. Find another job. Be the stock person in the back. But do not be ding, 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 reaching it up. Don't go into self checkout and mad and hitting the button and doing your part and everything. If you don't like people, stay away from people. Okay? There are jobs where you have limited interactions with people. So you're not going to be likable if you in customer service and you don't like people. Got to be genuine with people. And that's why still when we have an option, especially at Smith's, we go to an actual cashier because those are those old school cashiers. And they're going to say, honey, you ain't got your card. Do. Get your digital coupons. The bagger is going to be there. It's just going to be a different experience than that doggone stressful ass self-checkout. Sometimes we do it if we got something small, but if not, we are going to the self-checkout person. They're going to tell us everything that we need to know. Oh, no, that's 2 for 1 on sale. You got it. Because they had to remember all that stuff back in the day before we had UPC code. So again, I digress, but if you don't like people, and I'm a social introvert, I get it, steer clear. Number 2, practice active listening. Practice active listening. So I mentioned it and show genuine interest, and here's how you do it. You don't interrupt. You let them finish. You nod and smile, and you give a brief verbal cues. So you say, oh, I see, really? Oh, that makes sense. When I was in Korea, my company commander, my first sergeant told me, I do like this. Well, hurry up. So they told me I had to slow down, listen, wait for people to finish, and then respond after. Not react, but respond. So you avoid planning your response while the person is talking. So you're like, As soon as you finish in your head, yep, I'm getting ready to go ham. I'm getting ready to say, this is it. No, let them finish. And then likable people listen more than they speak. They listen more than they speak. So let the person talk. And people are like, oh my God, you're such a great listener. I'm like, you should have saw me in the 90s. I'm not. No, I wasn't. I didn't hear shit you said. You just started talking, and so did I. I felt like it was a battle as opposed to a nice little Argentine tango. We don't go back and forth. No, mine was Battle Royale WWE coming off the top row, and I'm gonna pummel you. Definitely finish him. So practice active listening. Don't interrupt. Let them finish. Nod and smile and use brief verbal cues. I see. That makes sense. Avoid planning your response while they're talking. And likable people listen more than they speak. Number 3, smile and use positive body language. Okay? Smile and use positive body language. I even read a book called Body Language. I have the book review if anybody would like for me to send it to you. So as you get the title of the book, you too can read the body language book. So if I'm sitting there like this while someone is talking, I'm not going to be quite likable, right? But if I open up my arms and I go, inviting, really? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so you're using positive. You ain't like, that's not positive body language. Now, there might be a time when you need to not have positive body language, that the older lady in Lowe's yesterday. However, most of the time when you're in your be likable mode, using positive body language will work. Don't stand to the side. Don't cross body language like this. You saying, yeah, that's not likable. Lean back. You lean in. Oh, really? You have to say, hey, I'm interested. So body language can do a lot. Nonverbal. 90% of our communication is nonverbal. I could have a whole conversation with y'all without even talking, and you know exactly what I was thinking and about to do. Number 4, be vulnerable and authentic. Now, this is where we lose most of the people in the chat. Be vulnerable and authentic. It's not weak. Vulnerability is not weak. I've been vulnerable in lives many times and will be in the future, God willing, higher power in the universe. But being vulnerable shows that you are human. When Winston Churchill was a prime minister and World War II was going on, people go to work and come home, whole damn house gone, because of the Blitz. He would go down amongst the people. He was known for being a person that was of strong emotions, and he would cry with the people. And people hadn't saw that, especially not back then. He was like, you better be strong, as tough as nails. But that vulnerability is what kept the people going. They did not acquiesce. They did not give in. They did not surrender. They kept the fight going. And that's what vulnerability is. I was talking to one of Nola's clients. She was having a moment. She was crying. She was like, I feel so bad because I'm crying. And I said, everybody has tear ducts. If we were not meant to express tears or emotions through tears, we would not have tear ducts. We wouldn't have the ability to cry if we were not meant to cry. They wouldn't be there. We don't have gills, so we can't go underwater because we are not fish. Okay, we need the snorkel equipment in order for that to work. So we have them. They don't go away. They're not like the appendix. Like, what the fuck is the wisdom teeth and appendix for? It's not something that we had and we no longer need. They're there for a reason. Plus, they help keep the eyes moisturized and everything else. So this whole notion of we can't cry, we shouldn't cry, we shouldn't express vulnerable emotions is coming from that damn negativity bias, that fight or flight. No, we strong over here. You're not. You're not. I don't trust people who have never cried, never had an emotional moment, who don't want to be vulnerable, because you're hiding some shit from yourself and everybody else. So it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be authentic. I'm still Dr. Donna. I am still Dr. Donna. And mess with me, you're going to find out that I could not be vulnerable or authentic. We can have a different interaction. But you share things about yourself, and being vulnerable invites trust. Establish trust and be trustworthy is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So if I tell you, you got to keep it real, you got to be authentic, and then I'm over here and you don't never hear nothing, you ain't never got a story. I got some light little fluffy stories sometimes when I'm on the YouVersion Bible app and people start saying these old light fluffy ass. And so the other day I was speaking with my kids and I told them, I was like, mommy had problems too. I didn't get invited to prom. That made me sad. No, motherfucker, tell the real story. Okay? Tell the whole, don't this whole light fluffy kind of. And then one day my dog ran away. I was saddened by that, but I knew, no, you got some real shit that happened to you. So go ahead and say it. It's amazing how when you say something, we had another new client, and her birthday is May 15th. And I knew she was a Taurus just by the way that she was talking. And she just sat down, started telling us everything. Just we working on a nightstand, having this conversation, because when you meet me in person, if you ever had the pleasure and the privilege to do that, because I don't do stuff live. So if you happen to bump into me being in Las Vegas, it is a different energy. You just automatically like, I just want to tell her my whole life story, where the bodies is buried and everything. If I was still a police officer, I wouldn't even have to bring you no food. You just be like, they did it, and they told me, just spill everything because of how authentic and real I am. So today, have a vulnerable moment. If it's nothing but with yourself, have a vulnerable, authentic moment so that you can create that neural pathway that says it is okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to admit that you was a fool in love. It's okay to do that. And it doesn't make you weak. And only unaccountable people use your vulnerability against you because they are fucking idiots. But a real person is just going to understand and have empathy and go, oh, okay, I get it. You're having a moment. Cool, bet. What do you need in this time? Be vulnerable, okay? It's okay. You got permission. All right, number 5, use humor lightly and positively. I use humor every day. I use humor because without it, this would be some boring, dry, dull shit. Let's face it, the brain ain't sexy. Nothing about it. Even as cute as all of this is, it's still not, with my bright colors and everything. When you see it in your hand, it just is cream, balled up, wrinkly little 3-pound thing. It's not like, ooh, but did you see the brain? That's not it. So humor and positively, when you use it positively, people can learn from that. There are times when I'm serious. There are times when I know to inject humor. And even though we're not all in the same space, we're here at the same time. I can still feel the energy to know when to go up, when to go down, when to be serious, and when to be lighthearted. So use your humor lightly and positively. Number 6 is find and highlight common ground. Find and highlight common ground. I do that all the time. If I see something, somebody's in the military, whatever it is, I will find the common ground with a person just so that we can understand at the end of the day that we're all people. And our differences are great, but we have a lot of similarities as well. So you want to find common ground. And if you find yourself leaving your zip code or your cubicle and you can't find something in common with somebody, that means you have a limited life. It means that you have a limited life. So you either need to embrace diversity and find out more. And this isn't, oh, I'm well traveled, I've been around the world. Been around the world, and you kept going to the exact same spaces that you lived before. What's interesting is my grandfather, Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, he had triple bypass surgery on his heart in 1997. And they took veins out of his legs and put them in his heart. And they told him, you got about, he was in his 70s. They said, you got about 4 or 5 years left. He left Detroit, moved to Las Vegas, and had 17 more years of life left on those veins. I guess because he's from Barbados. So some of those veins just kept going. Now, what's interesting is I didn't know that the street that he lived on, Lawton, where he lived, the house that they lived in the projects, then they moved on Lawton. He lived in that house until he sold it and moved here. He literally found that neighborhood here in Las Vegas, and the internet was barely up and running in 1997. And we visited him, and I thought, how the hell did he find Lawton, whole neighborhood, walk to the grocery store, hey, Mr. Evelyn, how you doing? I was like, how the hell he do this? How he live in the same damn neighborhood on the West Coast? And then my mother and her husband, they moved, they used to live close to us in a senior community 2 miles away. And then they moved all the way to North Las Vegas. And that house is a combination of the 3 houses, the Glendale, Curtis, and Hampshire. And so I call that house Glencaster. Because I'm like, how did they move basically off of Telegraph and 7? I'm like, what was the what was the reason? Why did you go and live right back where you were? Cubicalized existence. This is where I'm comfortable. Let me go over here and live right where I just left. We have never lived in the same situation. Similar because I like trees. I like a little upscale environment, but none of the houses have been the same. None of the environments have been the same because I want a different experience. So that's what you have to do, is that you have to find common ground with people. And if I was still Dee Dee from the D, Glendale between, let me tell you something, what? Now, there's no way that Nola's business is as diverse as it is because I'm diverse. So that would make her diverse. So she has a diverse upbringing. She has a diverse from school perspective and everything else. And then it makes you universal. So find common grounds. If everything you do is like everybody else around you, and the thought of doing something different means that you have a fixed mindset and you're going to be stuck in a rut. And you definitely are not going to be likable by a diverse group of people. Number 7 is practice gratitude and give sincere compliments. That's what I do. Practice gratitude and give. And I actually even have how to make small talk with people and give them a compliment. And I do compliment things that are not normal. I never tell people nice hair. I never, unless they really got it coiffed, and it's an amazing haircut or something like that. But that's not something that I'm saying. I'm not going to just give you this regular comment, ooh, I like your shirt. And that's it. Gonna have a compliment. Wow, this is an amazing book collection. And wow, what made you read this? And is this restored? It's going to be something that is individualized for that individual person. And so practice gratitude and give sincere compliments. One thing, when I started volunteering at the Urban Chamber as a strategic advisor, everybody was shocked by Dr. Donna and how I would just come in and be like, oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I tell you all that too, because in theory, when you get this level of education or this level of prestige, then you're supposed to be hoity-toity and get thee down, bend the knee, bow down, peasants, and kiss the ring. No, it is literally being grateful for the experience, for the time that you are sharing with that person, so you can actually have gratitude. And that leads me into number 8, which is stay humble. Stay humble. Part of the reason why I still do 99% of everything is because it is humility. Jesus washed the disciples' feet, even fucking Judas, and he knew he wasn't going to be there long. I'm a Christian. That's the Bible that I read. I'm not telling you that you need to be religious, believe what you want to believe, but I have that belief. He walked everywhere. He probably Ubered. You know what I'm saying? If we were here right now, showed up in town on a donkey, like, what the fuck is this? What is going on? So the humility of it all. So never, even when I had employees, I'm out here, I would take off all my slacks and everything else. I had jeans and picking hair and t-shirts, picking order hair. And I would go, it's time to pick, let me change. Close my office, go get my t-shirt, my jeans on, and I'm out there picking too. And the rest of the managers is like, you're picking. Why would you work? Why? Because I'm trying to get out of here. I don't feel like being in here till 5 o'clock in the morning. I would like to go home and go to sleep and pick my child up and go home. That's what I would like to do. So humility, stay humble. Confidence is likable. Arrogance isn't. Confidence, which I have a lot of, is likable. Arrogance is not. And what happens is that when people think, and we see it, and we've watched it here in Las Vegas because the area we live in is expanding, and we can tell by a person when we have to go to their home or whatever, we can tell if this person is confident or if this person has a big ego and they think by having all this stuff, it makes them a better person. And your possessions don't make you better than anybody else at all. So share your accomplishments with humility and context. So I've told this to Nola before that I don't mention things unless it's part of the conversation that we're currently having. I'm not name dropping. She has celebrity clients. I ain't never told y'all who they was, and I never will. It's not like we signed some NDA when we walk in the door, where you want this, where you want that, because it doesn't matter. I have said I've been in the room with such and such when it makes sense to say those things. If it does not, then you will never know. And so you share your accomplishments with humility and context for that moment. And then people respect ability, but they like humility. So the fact that I have the ability to do this, but I'm not like, you will scour the doggone internet, and you, with the amount of rooms and people that I've actually talked to, you will find very few photos of me with celebrities, with elected officials, with billionaires. If you find one, it's because it was from somebody else's camera. Because most of the time, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't want to take a picture. I'm not like that. So, and I do, and it's an interesting story, and I will say this, that, and I told this story to Regina, is that when I went to Cannes Film Festival for my 40th birthday, so that's in France, and I do say we were on Roberto Cavalli's yacht because that's how we ended up there. We were preferred customers, and his rep was there and was like, oh, y'all should come to the film festival because da da da. So anyway, once you're in that circle, you just get invited to all kind of shit. So anyway, we were there. We were sitting in I want to say the JW Marriott's. They have a restaurant off the main lobby. My sister and I were in there. We were having a meal. She went to go use the bathroom. And the person next to me, I noticed the person next to me, and I was like, oh my goodness. It was Michael B. Jordan. Now, this is when Fruitvale Station came out, so they were premiering it at the Cannes Film Festival. This was before he was Creed, all of this. That was him and what's his name's first movie together. He was sitting there by himself, and I was like, oh my goodness, Wallace, I love your roles. Da, 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 da. So we took pictures. My sister found out he was somebody because she was like, she don't take pictures unless you're somebody. So she took a picture. That was that. And the rest, they say, is history. I did post that photo on Twitter many, many, many years ago. That thing is so far down my feed that if it shows up, it will be because AI searched it. I think that is the only actual photo of me with a celebrity at all that would have made it to social media. So my point is that I have that story. I have plenty of stories like that. I mean, Antonio Fargas was my acting coach. Don't have any photos with Antonio at all. Just something that happened. So when it's pertinent to the conversation, I say it. If not, there's no reason, because everybody, as soon as somebody dies or somebody does something, people pull out these old ass photos from, and I knew him when, and it's definitely not necessary. But it is a story. It's an interesting story, perhaps for those who are interested in that, and I have those experiences to be relatable. So when people start saying things, I have a Shaq story. So yeah. Anyway, summary. You don't have to be everyone's favorite person. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to be everyone's favorite person. Laura Bush, I read her book, and she said it's the 50% rule. 50% of the people are going to resonate with you and 50% aren't. So spend 100% of your time on the 50% of the people that do like you. Don't try to convert the people that don't like you. It's not going to work. Every now and then you might get one, but for the most part, it's not going to resonate with them for whatever reason, and that's not your issue to try to go, because now you're people pleasing, and that pleases no one. So you don't need to be everyone's favorite person. Likeability grows most when you focus on being present, kind, and real, not perfect. Likeability grows most when you focus on being present, kind, and real. Okay, real is how you become likable, not perfect. Okay, I'm very much far from perfect, not trying to be perfect. And we say it in Al Anon is progress, not perfection. And my objective is to be best. And best, in my opinion, is better than perfect, because perfect is just sitting there too busy, concerned with being perfect instead of being best. Now, that's all that I have for you today. If you need me to repeat any of the 1 through 8, I'll go through them. And then if you need any more detail, let me know. 8 practical tips to become more likable. Number 1, show genuine interest in others. Number 2, practice active listening. Number 3, smile and use positive body language. Number 4, be vulnerable and authentic. Number 5, use humor lightly and positively. Number 6, find and highlight common ground. Number 7, practice gratitude and give sincere compliments. Number 8, stay humble. And above all, you don't need to be everyone's favorite person. Likability grows most when you focus on being present, kind, and real, not perfect. And what questions do you have, if any, if I need to repeat them? And then my 2 questions for you that I have every day to create 2 new neural pathways. What did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? And to just briefly again say why that is necessary, because you need to know that every day that you wake up, you're looking to learn something. So you're creating that neural pathway that says, I'm waking up with the expectation that I'm going to learn something today. Additionally, I'm going to learn something about myself, because personal accountability is personal. It's a self-reflective life journey so that you get to know you every single day as you continue to grow and change, evolve, and become your best. So what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? And then we will call it a day. Okay, Kevin. No, that's me. Oh no, Kevin. Today I learned that social skills take practice. They do. They actually do. And I'm going to type my other one and then I'm going to come back to that. Okay. Social skills take practice, yes. And they take a lot of practice. And people, the thing with people that are sociable don't necessarily have social skills. So they like to socialize, which means they really just like to talk. They have the gift of gab. But that's not the same thing as having social skills. Social skills means that you can communicate effectively. You have the ability to read the room, be a thermostat, not a thermometer. That's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So you can change the trajectory of the energy in the room depending on what's taking place. If the energy is low, you can bring the energy up. Most social people can only bring the energy up. They can't put the energy back down, because it takes leadership skills and it takes a lot of other communication skills, ask questions, handle conflict when it occurs, and all of those things that are accompany effective communication. So yes, it does take time, and it's a neural pathway. It literally is a neural pathway that you have to develop in addition to all the other neural pathways. Another thing, and I see Nola and Kevin, your response, I'll get to them in a moment, is that what I would like to stress is that you need neural pathways to do things. You actually need the neural pathway. If you want to have financial literacy, you need the neural pathway for financial literacy. So you need that skill to do it. If you are building something and you need a socket wrench, a set of socket wrenches, standard and metric, you need that tool to be able to do the thing that that tool requires. So you need that neural pathway. If you say, I'm going to be rich, and then you, as my grandfather used to say, if you can't manage $5, you can't manage 5,000. So it isn't just, I'm going to do this thing. If you're going to become best at it and proficient at it, you need to develop that neural pathway. If you're going to be a good listener, you need the neural pathway to be a good listener. If you are going to have fun, you need the neural pathway to have fun. If you're going to take naps, you need the neural pathway to take naps. Nola, Nola found out about my other pillow collection if we ever in the event have guests at the house and all these things I do to go to sleep, because she just sits on my bed and says, oh, your bed is so comfortable. And she doesn't understand that there is a naptologist. I am a sleepologist when it comes to making sure that I get a good night's rest. For sure, these are all neural pathways that have to be created. So when you find yourself being skilled, that's a good neural pathway. You find yourself being unskilled, it simply means that you have to become skilled at that thing. So you're going to experience cognitive overload. Then you're going to start having that neural pathway. Keep doing it. And you will become very much good at it. So you can actually do anything that you put your neural pathway to. And when they say put your mind to it, you need the neural pathway in order for that to take place. Now, Noah said, I learned about myself. I am a likable person. I think I am cute and disarming. You are. And then myself, I said, people attempting to hijack my amygdala with vulgarity can no longer do it. And so again, Asian hair, and now I understand where it's coming from. It no longer works. It doesn't work because I understand what they're doing and why they're trying to do it. And so I just stay on my frontal lobe, and then I just attack their amygdala with a vengeance. So don't start none, won't be none. But if you want to come over here and find out, you can. I'm happy to oblige. And then Kevin, you said, myself, having a great sense of humor is one of the primary reasons most people are attracted to me. That is correct. And then Nola, I learned disingenuous small talk doesn't make you likable. It does not. It actually doesn't. And in fact, people will say, I don't know, it's just something about them, I didn't like them. And they won't be able to put their finger on it, but they actually will be able to understand. You will just know, if you listen to your gut, 400 messages going to your brain, that will happen. So I'd like to close the live with this. My sister reached out to me 2 days ago with some bullshit email. Number one, it was bullshit because she told me to call her. Yeah. So what happens with unaccountable people is, and what I'm finding is, because there's been no physical phone contact for 3 years now. And it is fucking with all of them. By them, I mean my immediate family. And so they decided to make her the spokesperson to contact me. I just saw the subject and the sentence. And at first I saw the email. We were at an appointment and I ignored it. Then I said, okay, what am I going to do? So then I deleted the email. And now I have a strategy for going forward. Because here's what I thought. I hire your friends and be likable is why I'm mentioning this today. And I'm not hiring for older sisters, mothers, and pervy stepfathers. I don't have any open positions in my life for addicts, by the way, liars, and I don't trust them. So I'm not hiring for those positions. They were grandfathered in. They had almost half a decade to do the right thing, and they chose not to. And so what's happening is their world is falling apart because of me being the gorilla duct tape glue holding that shit show of a family together. And now that's not there. My nephew is now in jail for a third time, and their worlds are falling apart. As a result, they need the fixer to come in and fix this, make them feel good about their poor choices. And they don't have anybody to bully. They don't have anybody to abuse and verbally assault and all of these other things and treat like a fifth class citizen. And so now they just have each other. And so it's kind of like a Lord of the Flies existence where they're just, now we need her back here. So we could just treat her really, really bad and she can make us feel really, really good. And so I came to the conclusion, and the sentence said we shouldn't die with this or something. And I said, yeah, we should, because I have peace that surpasses all understanding. I have neuropability now. Nola has all of the things that she's working on. You have what you need from me because I don't have them in my life anymore. So what on earth would cause me to reconnect when the connection was a poor connection to begin with? It was a terrible, awful, horrible situation that you don't want to revisit. People don't go revisiting and living in bad places. You don't. If you lived in a landfill and you finally got out, the slums in India, you don't go back and move there again and have all that toxicity and those horrible fumes in your life. You don't. You even with the protective gear, you're not going back. You may go back to look to see, but you're not visiting long term and setting up shop. And so what's amazing to me is all she had to do was say, I'm sorry. I apologize. But she went, because of the manipulative bitch that she is, and I said that with every fiber of my being because it is true, and I don't use that word lightly, she did the cardinal rule number one. And my boundary for everybody, unless we are doing business, my preferred method of communication is email, which when I changed my number for the last time and didn't give it to them, I explained that to them. And 3 years later, she did the first thing that says this email is not about me, it's about you. Call me. Call me. So what that showed me was you don't give a fuck about my boundaries, you don't care about me, and you need something from me. So she's a grifter and a gypsy, and whenever she meets a new person and they care about family, she will contact me. And I've watched that throughout my whole life, that when she needs a sister, insert me, I'm here. Now, when that relationship is over and the new relationship they don't value family or siblings or anything, then I don't know about it. But if this new person that cares about families, you can just bring her cause you can make up with her, make a man. That's what that email was about. Because she said, call me. And it was in that moment that now I have been downloading for the last 48 hours about everything that they've done and they haven't done. And you can tell I got peace about it because I made the right decision for myself on Cinco de Slapo, May 5th, 2022. And it was the best decision for me and my offspring. And we haven't looked back. We haven't said, oh man, I wish we could go and have Mother's Day and Father's Day. No. Because I didn't set the rules for that family. I'm the youngest. They set the rules. We never sat down once and said, as a family, we are going to do this, 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 and this. So it's not. It's family on paper because we are related. We share the same bloodline. And my mother chose to marry a pervert. That's it. Outside of that, we've never sat down and said, here's what I need from you. Here's what I'm going to give to you. And so what are we talking about? I'm talking about the abuse and the atrocities that occurred to me and how I'm owed explanations, and you all don't want to do that. So we have nothing else to discuss. I don't care about what we paid for and we pay. That's all you can say. The final thing that I will say is the reason why I'm having this conversation with you and the vulnerability of it is because you may too be experiencing family issues that can't be explained, and they want to keep saying, but I did this, this, and this. That's why it's important to have a family scorecard, a report card. And that's why it's important to don't do anything without a strategy, because now you can go back and say, this is what's not working. Standing operating procedures in a family makes sense. So when someone is off the cuff, not doing their thing, you can go back to what's your job description? Big brother, little sister, father, aunt, cousin, grandparent. Here's your role in this family business. And you're not doing your job. And sometimes you need to reevaluate your role, give the responsibilities to other people, but that's not taking place. So for those of you with functioning relationships with your family, you can have a report card too. You can have a standing operating procedure for your family, because otherwise you're arguing about things that were never said, that were never done. Now, things about abuse, you shouldn't be abusing anybody, but all these things where you should have, you didn't, what are you holding it to? The people who set up the rules, and they just keep changing the rules and the target keeps moving. That's a dysfunctional existence, and you shouldn't do it at work or at home or in your business and volunteer organizations, churches, nonprofits, whatever. If you do not have a standing operating procedure for the people in that organization, in that situation, it's not going to be best. I have principles that guide my entire life. They're located in my book. They're on the website. They're on social media. The 74 principles of real leadership work. And if I had have kept staying in that family, I wouldn't have got to this point. And I wouldn't be able to factually base say, I'm good. I'm not hiring for those positions. I don't need any of those positions in my life. I don't. I absolutely don't. I need people that are older than me, wiser than me, guiding me to get to my next level. That's what I need. If you're older than me, you need to have more information than me. You need to be personally accountable. You need to be your best. You need to be a bad mofo. You need to be working on your personal legend. There are things that you need to be doing because I done had enough barbecues and cookouts and dysfunctional family events and all of that. I'm good. And so I'm grateful for her sending that message because it helped me to close everything out. So in the event that I get any more emails from them, I'm deleting them. I'm deleting them because they haven't changed. If the first sentence in the email is call me, you just stepped over my number one boundary. You didn't respect how I want to be communicated with. And you have an English degree from Oberlin. So you know how to type, you know how to write. You reminded me of your $50,000 degree back when, and I just went to a public college and you went to a private college. So you already told me you're smarter than me. You're good in English and all that. So let's use the way which your degree is in and communicate that way. So my point in this is have a healthy functioning family. Have everybody around you know what they're doing. Don't do anything without a strategy for your offspring, your offspring's offspring, or anything else because it makes life more fluid. When Nola and I have conflict, we handle conflict when it occurs. If there is a heated conflict, we go away, we separate, we come back and we discuss what's happening and we anchor ourselves back into the principles of real leadership. She is coming around third on finishing RL Advanced. Yes, she's in 3 challenges right now and has to be on the lot and has to live with me. So if you feeling bad or you think, damn, it's a lot, she'd be like, she live with her. Because the standard for her offspring is way higher than anything else. So my point is I have peace and I walked myself through that initial hijacked amygdala and all of that. I didn't stop and do anything other than sit on my hands. And I knew exactly what was taking place neurologically. And so I didn't fall for the okie doke. I did not. So that's why, and I keep mentioning this, that's why I keep watching the Diddy case because the parallel existences, the behavior and everything else. I'm like, I experienced that. I experienced that. I felt that. I felt that. Like, oh, so this is a pattern. This is behavior. This is what's happening. So much so that the PA for today, as well as the Real Leader Brain, are classified. And when you get to it at some point, we may even listen to it. I haven't made it yet. I just recorded it. So we'll see. Maybe we'll listen to it on Wired Wednesday. But the point is this, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to be in toxic existences because your families are a bunch of fucking bumbling idiots with hijacked amygdalas. Okay? You have the ability to have a frontal lobe existence and it's better. I promise you, it ain't nothing like actually being able to neurologically assess what's taking place. That's why that pervert earlier in the live couldn't impact me because I knew you were trying to hijack my amygdala and I knew exactly why because we have people who are in the sex work industry told me about the Asian fetish. So I was like, oh, I understand what you're doing. You think I'm Blackanese or Blackapino or something. So now you over here thinking you about to say something and that's a docile group. So I'm not going to say anything back, but you got me twisted. You misread the room. You used the wrong somatic markers. So when you keep things logically on the brain, I promise you, it's a more peaceful existence because you're in your frontal lobe. You have access to all your cognition, problem solving, listening skills, and assessment and everything else, and your personality. So when you know who you are, people can't tell you who you ain't. I have a boundary. You don't get my phone number. You're trying to communicate with me, send me an email because I took away the one thing that they were using to gaslight me. And another thing, and I know I keep saying the final thing, but I even got a Dr. Donna's dictionary out of it. So yesterday I looked up gaslighting and manipulation because they are not the same. And I have manipulating because that's what they were doing, manipulating and gaslighting me at the same time. So they are manipulating. And now I have a term for it. So nobody is going to manipulate me. anymore. I took away their control, and it was my phone number. And who knew that that was the thing that was keeping me bound? Shut that shit off. Now you don't have access to me. Now that one, the hearing my voice and texting me randomly, that was about control. So I took away the one thing that they had control, how they were controlling me. I cut that neural pathway off, pruned the shit out of it. And now they don't know what to do. And because I don't have a lot of what I'm doing, even with my personal stuff that's going to be on Instagram and TikTok, they're going to have to pay to find out and see it. And that's still not going to be what they want, because they want to be able to access me immediately. So I took that away. So when you take away the thing that they're using and holding over your head for you, you eliminate that, then they don't have any control and they become powerless. They have no more power over you. So I'm very much on the other side. My heart rate, my pupils aren't dilated. I got the same tone because of my amazing brain. Your brain is how you get out of all of this. Your frontal lobe, the executive function of your brain, all of that in the prefrontal cortex of your head. That's where the magic happens. And that's why I wake up every day telling you about this amazing organ that you have 1000% control over. You have the ability to create new neural pathways and prune that dysfunctional shit from your job, from the world, from whoever. You have the ability to say, yeah, that shit don't apply to me. I'm a bad motherfucker because I know how to use my brain. That's what I know how to do. What do? Use my brain as it was intended and designed to be used. That's what I do. What's your superpower? I use my brain. I use it every day like it was meant to be used. I don't let people hijack my amygdala. That's what I do every day. Not about I'm my best every single day. I stand on the 74 principles of real leadership, and that's what makes me super fucking human. That's what it does. And it don't have a description. It's a vibe. You got to see it. You got to feel it. It's something that I do on a daily basis. Just sit back and eat your popcorn, watch my smoke. That's what you're going to do. You're going to watch me do some amazing shit and still not be able to figure out how I did it because it happened up here first. That's what this is about. I don't want people to be 50 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old, still having trauma from some fucked up, hijacked amygdala imbeciles. No, that doesn't have to be your experience or your existence, because you have the ability to wire your brain to whatever it is that you want to do. You just got to create the best neural pathway. Next to hold others personally accountable and yourself is the fuck you pathway. Fuck you. I'm going to go do this. You need that neural pathway. Fuck you. And twice on Tuesday. That's what it is. Because you're trying to stop me. And that's what I realized in that message. The unmitigated gall to say, call me. I saw everything that I needed to see. And for Nola, she was like, they just ain't going to change. All this time, they still exactly the same. That fixed mindset and that comfort zone going to keep you right there. And what would make her think, with all that I've accomplished, that I want to talk to you about? What? Why? You ain't nobody. You regular. Everything you did, I did for you. All your Googleable shit is because of me. You ain't did nothing since I left in 2013. The fuck we talking about? You regular for real, for real. So sever that neural pathway, sever that tie, so you can get on the other side of your best. I do thank you for your time today. I know I went a lot over today, but I needed to express that for whomever is here, for anybody who's on the replay. Somebody needed to hear it. I was the guided to tell you. So now you know, go do something with that information. I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power in the universe. I will be here, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. You all go off and have a super duper Sunday. Take care. Adios.